Hey guys, one of the things that I would like to do more of on YouTube is face chart videos where I'm making face charts. I like making face charts, and I'm always looking for ways to share my creativity in process and not just share knowledge or research in a review. And I'm talking about things like this right here. I thought that it would be fun and quite frankly easy on me if I started this by just showing you some of the face charts that I've created in a little sort of a show and tell kind of a video. So I will be doing that in a minute, but before I get to that, I wanted to talk a little bit about some practical application ideas for face charts and address some possible misconceptions that I think could potentially be causing a sort of creative paralysis for some people who are afraid to pick them up. Now, there are several reasons why you would be using face charts professionally or just as a hobby. As a student, people practice on them a lot. The ones that I'm showing you are the ones that are available on thefacechart.com. If you don't know, I designed these so you can get them on a pad like this with a cardboard back. They're lightweight textured paper that's not like the same texture as a watercolor. Think like a Mac face chart if you've ever looked at one of those. These are very similar. You can also get them in loose sheets and packs of 100. If you don't need the whole booklet, that's actually the best deal, and I probably shouldn't say that, but you'd know it if you looked at the website and saw it. You can also get smaller lip charts and eye charts that I think of as sort of like little pocket sketchbooks that you can take to do looks on. Now, in my opinion, unless you are directing a team of makeup artists for a fashion show and creating a look on these and passing it around, or if you're doing something for theater or film work where this is a reference guide, most of us aren't using them that way. I think the bulk of us are using them in a few different ways, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Because like everything else on the planet, I think that social media and Instagram, when I see them online, they're so incredible that I think it's not necessarily an accurate representation of how most of us are going to be working with them. I'm not knocking anybody who can do the amazing work that people can do using face charts because it's incredible, but don't think that that's what you have to do because you don't. Somebody left a comment actually in a recent video where they were saying, what do you think about like makeup in the beauty community or Instagram makeup or something? Like, do you have any opinions? And I laughed because I'm like, do I? No. Opinions? Me? No, whatever. I will say this. One of the things that I find sort of darkly amusing about Instagram and social media is it wasn't that long ago, and you still hear it somewhat, but it wasn't that long ago that people were like ranting and I mean like pitchforks and torches ready to shut down all the fashion magazines and advertisers because they were depicting an inaccurate view of beauty and setting a horrible standard, and oh, we're living our lives horribly because of how you're showing us how we're supposed to be, and everybody's photoshopped and blah 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 blah. So then Instagram happens, social media happens, everybody kind of takes the reins themselves, and what do? They do the same thing. They Photoshop themselves. They make themselves look thinner. They make themselves look fitter. They lead you to believe, their viewer, that they have like this glamorous, perfect life. I find that amusing in a George Carlinian kind of a way, where I just kind of sit back and chuckle and watch everything go down the toilet because you said these people were monsters, but given the opportunity, you did the exact same thing. Like, people thought that the aliens were running fashion magazines and they were out to destroy us all, but they weren't. They were humans all along, because when you got the chance, you did the exact same thing. But I digress. So let's talk about face charts. Now, the idea that you need something that looks finished and polished and perfectly contoured and all that stuff, you don't need to do that. I think this is how I kind of break it into 3 different categories. You do finished, polished, realistic looking charts when you are presenting a look to a client, whether it's bridal or whatever, and you're showing them, this is a look that I could do on you. Then you can do that. In that case, don't limit yourself to makeup. Don't bother with lipstick on the lips on a face chart. If cream products are difficult for you to use an eyeshadow, use colored pencils, use pastels, use whatever you want to get the image across, because all you're going to be doing when you work on the client is recreating that drawing on their face in some way. It's just supposed to inspire them. So it doesn't have to be makeup. Use whatever you want to create the picture. When creating reference charts for a client, if you're doing makeup on somebody and you're doing, and these, as an example, have like a list over here that say moisturizer, primer, foundation, concealer, highlight, contour, blush, brows, base, primer, and so on and so forth, then most of what the person is going to be paying attention to are the notes on the side to know what you did, what you applied where, and how you did it. We all have cameras on our phones now, so they can take a selfie and see what it looked like. This portion, when you're creating a reference chart for a client, just take your color. You can take it on your finger and just swipe it across so they know this is where I placed this right there. That's it. You don't need to get super detailed with it if that's what you're doing. Lastly, there are what I call creative charts, where you're really just doodling and you're doing some kind of a sketch, like here's one here, or this, and I'll show you some of these. This one, this like fun skull thing. This is just doodling and chilling out and just having a good time. In which case, again, you don't have to make it look realistic. It's just for fun. You can do whatever it is that you want. You don't have to do things like contouring the nose. You don't have to shade the skin. You really don't need to. Even if you're showing a client your potential work, you still don't need to shade in the nose and make it look all fancy and realistic. You can if you want, but you don't need to. There's plenty of times where I don't put in the nose, or I don't shade it in because I don't care, or I just give like an idea of one. Here's one though, where I didn't do the nose at all, because why bother? Who cares? And that's mostly what I wanted to say before I got into this show and tell portion here, is mostly just don't limit yourself and have fun. And that's like advice for life. I mean, really, for anything. Don't pay attention to what other people are doing. Don't think that you have to do the same thing. Just if it's enjoyable, make it enjoyable, have fun. If it's not enjoyable, for God's sakes, don't do it. Find something you enjoy and do that instead. You don't have to do this. But if it's something that you want to do and you're interested in, and you're, oh, but I can't make it look like, this amazing, like Michelangelo painted it, then don't. Be you. That's all you need to be. Let's start showing you some of these charts. I haven't looked at these in a while, so this is going to be kind of interesting, potentially embarrassing. All right, guys, let's get started. Now, I want to show you this again just because I've never set the camera up this way before to show you what the package looks like. And there's this silly feature that I love to nerd out about. So the cover goes, and if you don't know, it opens like this, and then the pages are here. And the little binding stuff is on this side. And the reason that's done that way is so that you can take these and put them in a bag and take them out again, and the edges of your paper won't get messed up. As someone who's like been an artist for years and done, I do a lot of pen and ink and pencil work. This is like how I want a sketch pad. Like, it needs to protect the pages. It doesn't make any sense that it goes the other way. So I was able to design those that way, and that's always made me very happy, and I just wanted to take a minute and share with you. So the first one that I held up is the first one that I'm going to show you. If I have any tips or tricks along the way, I will let you know what those are. This was I think the first, if not one of the first anyway, face charts that I did on this design. I remember watching a movie on Lifetime, I think with Alyssa Milano in it, when I did this. These are things that I do when I'm watching television. This is just a fairly basic look, but I did want to, I'm going to see if this will zoom in here, show you that I took a pencil and kind of did some extra detail things just to sort of, I don't know, it looks a little more comic booky, but I kind of like it. I added highlight in the eyes, and that was done with a white paint pen. You can get like the pens that you shake up and they make the click, 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 click. Remember like in the 80s when you were a kid? Go with me on this. And they had those metallic markers, and they had to like tap, 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 tap them on the thing, and then it would all everywhere. Same basic thing, except they're better now and they come in all different colors. That's what I usually use to create highlights. The lashes on this were done with a fine-tipped dip pen that you would put in like ink and then just brush on. I love those for making lashes. I just think it works easier than anything else. And I believe that I even added strokes like that to the eyebrows as well. And I slightly parted the lips because you can go in. The regular face chart looks like this. I should actually show you what you see. This is what it looks like without anything on it. So there's sort of the nostrils are there. There's eyelids that are there. There's a suggestion of eyebrows. You don't have to pay attention to any of this, and you can redraw the face, you can open the mouth, you can redraw the lips, you can do whatever. So there's that one. This was another one that I did early on. This one is very monochromatic and stylized and working with a lot of the same color and a lot of brush pens. You can get like sort of watercolor brush pens, and that's what I used to create these lines around in here. I did some shading on the lips, the nose, the eyebrows. I just kind of went kind of crazy, and even the lashes were done with that. A little shading on the eyes, but there's no highlight on this. This is just sort of fun, kind of alien looking design that I really liked. Similar to that one, and nothing I ever expected to recreate on anybody. This is a fun doodle that I just did with pen and ink, and then I went in and did the shading after the fact, and I was just kind of having a good time. This like is lighter here, if you can see. That is just eraser. Because if you work in powders on these, you can take an eraser and then lift the product up, and that's another way that you can create highlights. It's a really easy way too. And then a couple extra dots with that paint marker right there on the eyes. This is another very stylized one. Again, mostly focusing on the eyes. Lashes here are the same dip pen, and working with just a couple colors and just sort of having fun playing around with different shapes and all that. So this is just me goofing off and having fun. That's what things like that and this, which you guys, this was just like a permanent Sharpie and just some doodles on here. Just having a good time. This Patrick Nagel wannabe that's right here, I loved this one. This was a lot of fun to do. I love the eyes. The earrings, I posted a picture of this online, and the earrings were actually taken from like a package. I had like a metallic box for makeup or perfume or something, and I just cut out the shapes and just rested them on the chart when I took the photo, because this is really about being an art piece and really just a tribute to Patrick Nagel. So that one was a lot of fun. This was just a weird alien one, playing around with a couple different shapes and having fun. This is messing around with water and alcohol, because you can take alcohol once you put the powder on. I'll see if I have any other examples. You can take alcohol to these, and then it will, here's a good one. It will change the way that this looks. I'm going to try and hold this up so that you can see it. These little strokes right here and along here, this little piece in the eye right there, that's done with these lips here, right here. That's rubbing alcohol on a brush, like a stiff synthetic brush, and then just like swept across, and it sort of lifts and melts the product, the powder product, and it creates this kind of funky effect. It's a little weird, and it could be a little unpredictable, but as a creative thing, it's kind of fun. I don't really know how you would create that on someone's face, but on a chart, it's just kind of a fun thing to do. This was another really, really early one that I did along with this one. You can see that they look very similar, just different color schemes. And these brows I really like. I like doing very sort of natural looking brows. The eyebrow line on the chart is actually much higher. It's up here. I like to draw it kind of low and straight out. I have one, this one, that's very neutral and just using face powders. I really like the way that this looks. I love the big eyebrow, and I love just the softness of this. I just think that this is a lot of fun. Most of me creating these is really just having fun. And I've said this before, that I think of them as like adult coloring books. This one, I don't know, is sort of frightening looking. That one kind of disturbs me. It's a little something that I'm not sure. This was a disaster. That I can't believe that I would show. This was sort of some aquatic kind of angelfish inspired thing. I say that, but I had no like frame of reference. I wasn't looking at a picture or anything. I just sort of thought that it looked almost kind of dolphin-like or something. I just thought it was really cool. I love the color combo of the kind of minty lip with the hot pink eye. And similar here is another one. This is also using alcohol here, 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 and a little bit on the lips. I'll try and hold it up so that you can see it a little more. And this is very sort of, and even on the nose here, you can see right there on those two sides. And this is playing around with a lot of negative space. I wanted a lot of white space left in here, and just kind of having fun. So again, it's just about having fun. I do have a couple examples that I want to show you of creating different skin tones, whether they're natural or not. You can use any kind of face powder. This was just using a face powder, a darker face powder, and you just build up the color, and then you can create a darker complexion, a deeper skin tone. It's really easy to do. A long time ago, I did She-Hulk, and I don't know if I still have that one, but using creams is really difficult. So why not make a mess? This was just having fun with a palette knife and some cream products. But in general, creams, this was all done with cream products. So this is all cream blushes and lipsticks and cream face colors. It's far more difficult for me to do. People who can work with creams do amazing stuff because they're basically painting on these. And you can do that. I'm just not a good painter. It's never been something that I've done well. I don't really have the patience to, but I don't know. This isn't that bad. Looking at it now, like years later, I'm looking at it going, well, this actually isn't that atrocious. It's not that horrible. But at the time, I was like, oh my God, what did you do? I have a couple recent ones here. This one's not, but this was sort of fun. This was a sort of a tick without the spots. Kind of a take on Cheetara from Thundercats. It was where the inspiration was for that. This was supposed to be an Alexis Vogel inspired look. This was really heavy on the eyes, nude lips, a thinner brow, and just kind of giving it that Pam Anderson treatment that I love so much. Or it could have been this one. Was it this one or this one? One or the other. There you go. Maybe I do two of them. This actually looks a little more like it, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so, with the thinner brows. And then the last two that I'm going to show you of the regular charts, and I'll show you some of the lip and eye charts just for fun. These two, and again, just playing around with the open lips. I put some teeth in here. I brought the eye down. I like a downturned eye. I don't know why. I have this like thing for Eliza Dushku that I've always had, and I like her droopy lids. The brows here are just like kind of sketches with the pencil, and I actually really like the way that they turned out. This was using a lot of pencil, and same with this one. This is like a watercolor wash, and also in here, reshaping the face a little bit and making that chin just a little shorter, lips a little bigger. I really like this one. This was using black and just a red in different places, and I think that this looks really, really cool. So eye charts and lip charts, the only thing that I want to show you here, the things that I think are cool about these, I mean, they're a fun little quick, like I said, like a little sketch thing that you can just do, whatever, but the thing that I really like about these is that you can take these looks. Let me find. So here's some eye looks in different colors. This is something that I do just sometimes just for fun. So I have these eyes in different colors, and then I have these lips in different colors. And then you can take these and you can kind of line them up if you want. Well, here, that one's shaded, so that this one doesn't have any shading on the skin. So look at this. These were actually designed to line up so that the face, you can mix and match the lips if you want with different eye looks. And they were designed to line up. So if you want to, you're planning different eye looks, different lip looks. If this is something you like to do, if you're trying to figure out what lipstick goes with what eye, do a bunch of lips. Just do a bunch of them in different colors. That's all this is. I've got some orange, I've got a nude, I've got a pink. I'm sure there's a red around here somewhere. And then there it is. And then eyes in different colors. And then you can kind of see what goes with what. And it's just kind of fun. There's another green face. I don't know. I just like it. This was entirely done with liquid lipstick, by the way, this one. And I think that one's kind of funny. It's sort of making a, what's that smell kind of a face, but I still like it. So that's what I like about the eye and lip charts. The whole like mix and match idea, I think is a lot of fun. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope if you didn't learn anything, I hope that you at least feel liberated. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Obviously, these are available on thefacechart.com. Links, of course, will be in the description area of this video. And I'm done. That's it. Thanks so much again, and I will see you later.